Well, hello. First time up here in a little bit of a while. How to Make a Killing is a new movie starring Glenn Powell, who is one of the best up and coming actors, I would say. And it's about this guy who, to get his family's fortune, which is like something in the billions, I think it was like 28 or something, but I could be way off. He starts on a killing spree of like cousins and relatives and like uncles and grandpas and stuff to get the family fortune. And it takes more of a dark comedy where it's not like, with that premise you could go full on like, not exactly like a horror movie, but full on just like geez. But it was more of a dark comedy, and I kind of like it for that, especially since I think Glenn Powell works with this type of tone. And as a whole, like, this movie was really fun. And like, I think the story's pretty good. And the biggest praise I can give it is that Gabe from The Office is in this. You know, like tall, lengthy Gabe, who's annoying as heck. He's in this, and he gets blown up. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. That's all I needed was, I saw the cast right before the movie. I saw he was in it. I saw the last name, and I was like, please. And then I watched the movie. It happened. I was just like, thank you. That guy is so annoying. He was annoying in this. He's annoying in The Office. Thank you. Anyway, the story itself is pretty good. I like seeing, like, at the beginning, you got this young kid and just kind of what goes on with him. His mom, there's this girl he ends up liking, and then it goes to when he's older. The girl that he liked when he was younger shows back up and kind of gives him a little bit of idea, and then he starts taking out relatives. The first one was pretty funny too, where he's like, wait, can I do this? I don't know, would it be that easy? And then he gets scared, and X-Lane does it, and he's just like, huh, that wasn't so bad. And then he starts going on a bit of a killing spree. He ends up getting introduced to Jessica Henwick's character, who she's from like Iron Fist and Love and Monsters, but he gets introduced to her, and they start kind of like a relationship. Once he gets to like, I think there was 2 or 3 more people, and one of them's his uncle, who kind of gave him a job, and he's kind of gotten a liking to. He's just like, I can't, and he's like, I'm a little bit content. And then his uncle dies from a heart attack, and that kind of leads him to finishing off the rest of them. Topher Grace is in here as one of the relatives, and I think he was pretty funny, even though he wasn't like a big part. Even though like, he's one of the actors who like was with like Glenn Powell and Jessica Henwick. Like, he's one of the main stars, but he was in it for like all of 7 minutes, so it's not like he was in it a lot. But I thought he was pretty good. I think he's a pretty good actor. But like, it doesn't get gory at all with the kills. Like, none of the kills are like gory. There's one at the end which is like the worst, and it's just a couple arrows, and I thought that worked pretty well. Where it doesn't need to be like this like big thing. Like, it can show a couple of them happen off screen, or just not be like big violent things, and it works. Margaret Qualley is in this. I think that's how you pronounce her name, as kind of the girl that he liked as a kid, and then she's the one who kind of starts him on the path. I haven't seen her in anything. She's like a big actress, up and coming actress. She was fine. And yeah, I don't get the hype, but I do think I've only seen her in the one movie, so I can't really comment, can I? Anyway, the ending I thought was going to be like a sad ending. That would have hurt the movie a little bit, I think, because even though this character is doing bad stuff, you do root for him. You can kind of see where he's coming from, a smidgen. And I do think it's mostly just Glenn Powell. You just warm up to the character, and you're like, I kind of want to see him succeed. He almost succeeds at the end. Stuff happens. And the ending, I thought the ending was pretty good, where it's like he succeeds in some elements, and then there's other elements which were probably, like, by the time the movie ended, bigger elements where he didn't. but his character just went kind of far down the rabbit hole where he's just like, whatever. So I kind of like the ending where it's like he kind of gets a happy ending, kind of doesn't, but at the same time it's kind of showing that he's also kind of messed up. But all in all, I mean, it was a fun watch. It wasn't like a long watch, and it's probably going to end up being just one of the funnest movies of the year. Not like funniest, but just one of the most fun, where it's like, yeah, that was a fun watch. If I wanted to watch it again, I would, and I would have a great time. But it's not my favorite of the year. It's not going to be my favorite of the year. It's probably one of my favorite Glen Powell movies. Nothing's probably ever going to beat Top Gun Maverick. And if it does, it has to be really, really good. And then I would say Twisters is probably like my second. I really like that. But compared to the other ones, like The Running Man and Hitman, this might be my third favorite. And then Hitman and then Running Man. There might be a couple other movies he was in that I'm missing. Technically, he's in The Dark Knight, but for like a minute, if that. But if we were putting The Dark Knight, it would be Top Gun Maverick, Dark Knight Rises. But, yeah. I really like the movie, and it was just super fun. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it if the concept sounds interesting. And all in all, just pretty good concept, actually. But, yeah, How to Make a Killing, that's my review. This should either be coming out Monday or Tuesday. I think Monday, but maybe Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be my review for I Can Only Imagine 2, which I'm super excited to talk about that one. And then on Friday is Scream 7. I think a review for that should hopefully be Saturday or Sunday, if not one of the following days after that, and then March. So, yeah. So I'll see you on Wednesday for I Can Only Imagine 2. And then after that, I'll see you for Scream 7. And then I think after that is War Machine with Alan Richardson, and then whatever else. Possibly the Peaky Blinders movie if I can get to it. I'm trying to finish the show, but yeah. But anyway, that's kind of what's coming up. And yeah, I'll see you Wednesday.